The 17 Stories Teacher's Manual was designed to support you in sharing the 17 Stories program with children. Stories were chosen to emphasize that God seeks a personal relationship with each one of us. Each lesson is listed chronologically through the Bible and covers one story and card except for the big story or story 17. A large picture of the card is included for the teacher or storyteller to display. You can use this picture to highlight characters or events in the story. Children will have the same picture on their card that they can use to share the story with others. On the other side of the picture is a lesson outline to help guide you in conducting a class. The introduction or teacher background section will help you prepare for the class meeting. It includes an optional theme to aid in storytelling and the key Bible passage. It is important to begin each class with a review of the previous lesson. We want to refresh the children's memory of the previous stories before learning a new story on that day. Reviewing activities might include retelling the story, arranging the cards in order, singing, or even a game. Next, someone reads aloud the story from the Bible. If your children are able to read, encourage them to read aloud to the class. A passage from the story is included for your reference. Then you become the storyteller and give the children the picture card for that story. In your teacher's manual, storytelling points have been included for each story. The storytelling points are not intended to be read to the class, but to serve as a guide in sharing the story. Tell the story in a way that it comes to life for the children listening. Discussion questions help the children talk about the story. Through discussion, children come to understand the story for themselves and discover how it applies to their personal lives. Next, you'll get everyone moving with a fun activity. You'll find plenty of suggestions with the instructions for games, memorizing scripture, dramas or songs in your manual. It's a good idea to prepare in advance for this activity so you have plenty of space and any necessary materials. The learning point ties the activity to the lesson. It is the life application the children learn from the story. Before closing the lesson, we want to review the story we learned that day and add it to the other cards that represent previous stories we have learned. Retelling the story, hand motions, and arranging the cards are great ways to review. A pacing guide has been included at the back of your teacher's manual. The purpose of the pacing guide is to help teachers teach a story more than once. This allows the children to learn the story in a different way so they are more able to share that story with others. For each of the stories, it includes additional themes, storytelling points, and discussion questions to highlight those themes. The pacing guide separates each story by the card it represents. For example, card 1 is the story of creation with Adam and Eve. 3 sessions can be conducted by focusing each on a different theme. Additional storytelling points are included in the pacing guide that can be added to those listed on the lesson page. These points will help to highlight that theme in the story. The pacing guide also includes discussion questions that will focus on each theme. Teachers can choose questions from the pacing guide and the lesson that are most appropriate for their children to understand the story. We encourage you to take advantage of the pacing guide and let the children enjoy each story over a longer period of time. By following this lesson outline, you will easily have an engaging lesson with children learning, understanding, and becoming equipped to share God's story.